Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. My goodness, is it a good Friday episode for you guys today? Today is the free Patreon Day episode. Let's go, baby. It is the free Patreon Day episode for August. It is August 1st. You know what we got is a juicy little episode for you, but today's episode is actually going to be a little different. Our very, very first thread that we've ever done on this show was a road rage thread. And it was my first time doing a thread on the show. And that episode was episode 23. Let that sink in. Episode 23. We've done over 400 episodes on this show. And that was episode 23, man. Woo! Craziness. August 14th is going to mark the 2-year anniversary of My Asshole Podcast. To think I've been doing this for 2 years is actually crazy because if I'm being honest with you, it feels like it's been longer. It really does. It feels like it's been so much longer. Just because we've done so much content. From, doing all the books to all the crazy threads we've gone over, all the crazy scenarios we've gone over, the streams, just all the content that we have done so far. It's insane to me. And I have you guys honestly to thank for that, because if it wasn't for you guys watching and supporting and all that kind of stuff, I don't think I would be doing it this long, I really don't. The fact that you guys come back week after week after week and you enjoy the content and you guys are accustomed to my schedule and all this good stuff and you guys are just in it for the juiciness. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. So, man, today's thread is: what is the worst road rage incident you have had or witnessed? All right. So this is a homage to the very first thread we've ever done on the show. So our first one is: someone thought I cut them off when in actuality our two lanes merged and he was a moron. Screamed obscenities at me when we both stopped at a red light. Handled it like a boss though, stared straight ahead and tried to hide the look of terror on my face. Booyah. Hey, sometimes that's what you got to do. I won't lie to you. I'm the type of person where when I see another driver doing some stupid shit, I'm just like, I just let him have it. You know what I mean? I let him have it. I'm like, you want to get in front of me? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Do your thing, man. Do you, fam? You obviously got somewhere to be, because I don't fuck with people on the road, bro. I don't fuck with people on the road. Look, I ain't going to lie to you, man. I'll be having my road rage moments like, what the fuck? Oh, but I do it with my windows up, you know what I mean? And in my car. I don't let them know that I am upset, because I'm not trying to deal with a motherfucker getting out the car and wanting to do some shit. I don't want to have to deal with that. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't want to have to deal with that, because that right there is just going to ruin my day, and I'm good on it. You know what I mean? Shit. Like, a lot of times that's the best situation to have, is just to let them do what they're going to do. What is the worst road rage incident you have had / witnessed? So I was making a right turn in an intersection, and some guy was trying to make a left into the same lane as me. I had the right of way, but he tried to go after I started and almost crashed into me. I flipped him off because his headlights were shining in my eyes and I couldn't see shit. This must have really pissed him off, because he rolled down his window, drove right next to me for the entire stretch of the road, and screamed shit at me and honked his horn. I'm surprised he didn't crash, honestly. Hey. Thank goodness he didn't, but if he did, I mean, bro, I can't sit here and say that, you know what I mean, you didn't deserve it. Like, let's be honest here. I look at it like, bro, if I don't understand how people who know they're in the wrong double down and be like, nah, fam, I'm in the right. I'm still gonna, like, no, bro, no, you're in the wrong. And you know you look stupid. And I think what is fueling this anger is the fact that you know you're being stupid right now. You know you're being stupid. You know you cut me off. You know you went when you weren't supposed to go. Like, come on, man. And I think you're mad at yourself and you're kind of just taking that out on me. You know, bro, come on now. Come on.
Bruh.
Like, that should be crazy to me, bro. All right, what's the worst road rage incident you have been a part of or witnessed? Let's just say that. Fuck it. Girlfriend got cut off while driving. Buddy accidentally pulled out in front of her and then waved to say sorry. She followed him, then stopped at a light, and she got mad and rear-ended the poor guy. No! No damage to either vehicle since we have talked about her, or since then we've talked about her road rage. She's watching me post this story, giving me quite the look and saying, my road rage isn't even that bad, Jeep Canada. Bro, your road rage is that bad. Alright? It's that bad. If you are so steaming to the point where you rear end this man, it's bad. It's bad. You know, it's bad. Don't try to justify that. Come on now. Don't try to justify this girl because you know it's bad. You know it's bad. That's a tough one. Yeah, I'm glad you talked to her about that because, bro, that can get you in a lot of trouble. And I can get you into a lot of trouble, my guy. Whoo, thank goodness there was no damage because the moment he said that she rear-ended him, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. Oh, okay, what is the worst road rage incident you have had / witnessed? I was moving, just my car, not a moving van, fortunately. My roommate decided to drive it. Been on the interstate for like 4.5 hours, and I'm in the middle lane passing a semi-truck. Some douche in a pickup tries to pass me on the right, trying to squeeze between me and the semi. But I closed the gap too fast. I'm on cruise control, not being a dick. Pickup slams on the brakes and goes behind me to pass on the left like he should have in the first place. But instead of just passing me, he swerves into me while we were both going about 70 miles per hour. Not drifted, swerved. The semi-truck was passing, the semi-truck I was passing was 5 feet to my right, so all I could do was slam on the brakes, which I did. Pickup truck flew into my lane and almost hit the semi himself. I knew I came pretty close to this happening. After I pass the truck, he slows down to let me pass, then flips me off as I go back onto cruise control. Then from behind, and to the left again, he tries to swerve into me and or run me off the road. Which again, I was able to brake, swerve, and avoid. This dude literally twice at 70 miles per hour tried to crash me. After that, I stayed behind him and called the state troopers, gave him the license plate, and told him the exit he ended up taking. I was a little scared, but more pissed. I couldn't believe it happened. Bro. It's one of those things where it's like, my thing is, if somebody is so badly trying to pass you, I find a way to just let them. It is not worth it, bro. It is not worth it. Me, I get anxiety driving next to big rigs. Bro. There's no fucking way you'll catch me cruise controlling by a big rig. Fuck no. Fuck no. I don't show it. You know what I mean? Like if you were to ever drive in the car with me and I'm driving by a big rig, it's one of those things where like I just don't acknowledge the big rig is there, and I try my best to just pass it as much as, as quickly as I can and as safely as I can. Because for me, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. No, I don't fuck with big rigs on the road. Big rigs get all the respect, possible on the road from me. Because for one, them niggas are big as shit and they can run you off the road anytime they want. Alright, it is no contest. Even if you're in a big ass pickup truck, he will still run you off the road. He makes your big ass pickup truck look like a Tonka. Okay? No. He will run your bitch ass off the road if he wants to. Second, big rig motherfuckers carry guns, bro. Alright? They carry guns. And they are not afraid to stick that shit out the window and say, hey, motherfucker, back up. Back it up. You know what I mean? So for me, big rigs get all the respect in the world. Now, if I was driving and I'm up next beside a big rig and motherfucker back here is trying to, go around me and all that kind of stuff, I will gladly speed up, get in front of the big rig, let my man pass, and then I'd get back over. Because no thank you. Like I said, even if you drive a big Toyota Tundra style truck, that big rig is still running you off the road, bruh. He is like, get your Tonka truck off the freeway, or I'll make it get off the freeway. Like, bruh, that's some crazy shit. I don't be playing with other motherfuckers on the freeway like that. No, thank you. Nah, man. Nah, that shit is crazy, bro. Hey, I'm glad homeboy was able to get out of this unscathed. He called the cops, did the right thing, but goodness, bro. Woo! I don't play with the big rigs on the road. What is the worst road rage incident you've had or witnessed? I will always remember a story that my driving instructor told me, the class in driver's ed. He was riding with a kid on a drive, and the kid was going a little under the speed limit. The car behind pulls around to pass, as it does. The guy pulls out a gun and points it into the car. The instructor slammed on the brakes and pulled into the parking lot to call the police. Yo! Oh, imagine, bro. Imagine you're like a little, 15, 16-year-old kid trying to get your license. And I did this on my first driver's test. If you guys are young out there and you haven't gotten your driver's test or anything like that, whatever the instructor says is the speed limit, drive at that. Don't drive slower than it. I did that stupid shit because I thought, she said, oh yeah, the speed limit is 40. I drove at 35. Yeah, and she failed me instantly. All right, she failed me instantly. She was just like, you drove 35 in a 40. The fuck were you doing? And I was like, bro, I was being safe. Like, bruh. Come on, man. I was being safe. But they don't look at it that way. All right. They don't look at it that way. I know common sense would kind of put you towards that way. And I'm sure even like your parents have probably told you, driving under the speed limit versus driving over the speed limit. You know what I mean? But drive at the speed limit. All right. Now, back to the scenario. Imagine if you were 15, 16 years old and you driving. And if some motherfucker pulls up and they pull a gun, yo, I'd be like, Mom, Dad, I don't want to drive no more. I was like, I don't want to drive no more. I'm good. I am good. Getting my license is scary, bro. Bro, that's your first experience driving? That's crazy. Woo! No, thank you. No, thank you. Oh, hell to the no. Oh, my God. That would be terrifying. You're 16. You're 16. And a motherfucker pulling a gun out on you. Like, bro, chill. Chill. What the fuck are we doing? Bro, oh my God. That would be terrifying. All right, what is the worst road rage incident you have had / witnessed? I was merging into the highway and there was quite a bit of traffic. I merged in front of this guy. He rode my ass the longest time. When traffic broke a little bit, he moved over to the left lane and sped around me. A bit later, I came up next to him and ended up passing him. Didn't think anything of it. He then sped up in the right lane to get in front of me and slammed on his brakes right in front of me. Came very close to rear-ending him. No idea what I did to piss him off so much. I don't get people like that. This is a huge thing in like major cities. You know, I don't know if it's all major cities, but from what I've experienced, whenever I've been in a major city like LA or San Francisco or San Diego, you know, in these major like cities, anytime that you're getting on the freeway and you merge into, because I mean, obviously the lane is going to merge regardless. So it's like, bro, I got to get in front of you or I got to get in the lane regardless. And it's one of those things where I've noticed, and I ain't gonna lie to you, mainly in LA. Okay. I ain't gonna lie to you, mainly LA. But yeah, you know, you get into the lane and it's one of those things where it's just like, oh, you know, sorry, man, I got to get in the lane, and you get in front of somebody and they get butthurt over it. And it's like, bro, what the fuck? I'm just trying to get in the lane. Like, sorry, I got in front of you. Like, bro, and then I can't stand those people who like literally bumper to bumper on purpose so that you can't get in. Like, bruh, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just let me in, man. Like, it's not going to kill you to let one car in. It's not. I don't understand that. Like, it's insane to me, people who do that shit. It's like, all you're doing is causing a premature accident, because it's like, I got to get in the lane regardless, and it's going to be your fault that this happens. Like, I don't understand what it is that you think that you're accomplishing or that you're doing. It's stupid. It's extremely stupid. You know, now for him to like go that far to literally, like, you realize this could have gone far worse, because just because I stopped and didn't hit you doesn't mean the car behind me is going to stop and not hit me, and on and so on and so on. Like, bro, you know, like, what are you doing, man? And this is the one reason why, like, I need to get me a dash cam. I won't lie to you, bro. I need to get a dash cam, man. Nowadays, motherfuckers don't know how to drive. That shit is annoying to me, man. It is absolutely annoying to me. There's been times where I've had people, like, I'm driving down the road and they're making a left-hand turn to like into a parking lot or into something, and they think that, oh, he's coming down the street, oh, I can make it. And I'm like, bro, you can't make it. The only reason you made it is because I anticipated you doing some dumb shit. I anticipated your dumbass trying to make this left-hand turn in front of me. I purposely slowed down because I know you have an IQ of 67 and you would try to make that turn in front of me. I already knew this. And that's why you made that turn. You didn't make that turn because you calculated it perfect. No, I anticipated your 67 fucking IQ, and I knew your dumbass was going to do that shit. You know, that shit boils my blood when I see people do it. And anytime I'm driving and I see somebody like, you know, either making a turn out into the lane with me or they're turning out to get onto the other side or something like that, I always anticipate the dumb shit. I'm like, I know you're going to do something stupid, and I'm just going to slow down prematurely. So that way I can already get ready and the car behind me can get ready and nobody gets into an accident, because that shit be pissing me off, bro. Oh, there are so many people out in this world who just have that IQ of 67 when they're driving. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you see me coming. It's daylight outside. I know you see me coming. And you just think you can make that turn. And you know you can't make that turn. You know? Oh, bro, I'm telling you, son. That shit be killing me. All right. What is the worst road rage incident you have had or witnessed? I was at a gun range and I had just finished shooting. The owner tells me that the ATM is broken, but I can go to the ATM at the gas station a mile away. I tucked my PPK into my conceal holster and go drive to get the money. On the way back, this car is honking and honking to go faster, I assume. But there is a car in front of me. Well, he drives past me and cuts me off and stops. I'm blocked at all sides since there is a barrier on my left. He swears at me from inside the car and starts reaching in his back seat for something. At this point, my hand is on my handgun and I switched off the safety in anticipation of what he's reaching for. Maybe he didn't bring it because he just drove off. Yeah, because I think he was searching around, right? And he was like, fuck, I didn't bring my gun. Woo! And lucky for the both of y'all, I ain't gonna lie. Lucky for the both of y'all, he didn't have that thing on him that day. Because this could have either turned into a homicide or a double homicide, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, man, that would have been all bad. All bad. There's only one time, and I mean one time, that I have ever had to like pull my gun out on somebody. And well, no, technically twice, but we're not going to talk about the first time. We'll talk about the second time. We won't talk about the first time. First time was a little crazy. But I was grocery shopping, got my groceries, put it in the car. I go put my basket away. I'm backing out, doing my thing. And in the parking lot, there's two exits there. There's the exit off to the main road here, and then there's the exit off to a main road over here. I'm going to the exit off the main road over here. So I go around, and it's kind of like a right-of-way area where where I'm at, I have to wait for the people going across. And so I wait. And I'm waiting. I'm like, all right, for sure. And I'm waiting. And this dude is turning, right? And he's got his blinker on. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. He's turning from where I'm coming from, and I'm turning to where he's going. So we're going to boom just like that. It's all good. I make the turn, and as I'm making the turn, he has his blinker on, and he's still there. He hasn't made the right-hand turn yet. And he's just on his horn. And the whole time I'm turning, he's right there and I'm turning. He's like, burp. And I'm like, bro. So I make the turn and then he rolls down his window like, hey, what the fuck, man? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? So I roll down my window and I'm like, bro, what's your problem? Like, aren't you making a right-hand turn? And he's like, bro, you fucking turned out in front of me, this, and that, I should get out and beat your ass. And I'm like, bro, you ain't beating nobody's ass. You ain't beating nobody's ass. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? I was kind of heated because of the horn. I was already heated because of the horn. Like, if he didn't blow his horn and he just rolled down his window, was talking shit, I would have just drove off. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have cared. But the fact that you were blaring on your horn kind of pissed me off. And so I'm like, bro, you ain't about to beat nobody's ass, this is that. He opens the door and steps out his car. I open the glove box, I get my thing out, and I'm like, look, bro, you ain't about to fucking do nothing. Get back in your car. Get back in your car. He gets back in his car, and he drives off. And I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. And I put my thing back in the little center console or whatever, and I drive off. And I'm like, you old son of a bitch. You thought you was going to do something, huh? I already told you wasn't about to kick nobody's ass. You wasn't about to fight nobody. I already told you that. Like, bro, I assumed that you were making a right turn while I was making a left, and we could have easily just boop, and it would have been just fine. But you felt the need to lay on your horn the whole time I'm turning. And then you want to roll down your window and you want to be talking that ish. Well, my motherfucker, you better be backing that ish up. Because I'm going to back my ish up. All right? I'm going to back my ish up with 17 rounds of freedom, baby. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Yeah. Like, I don't know who he thought he was messing with. I don't know who he thought that's going to make him think twice before he blares his horn. Like, I mean, goddamn. All right, we're going to do two more in this thread. What is the worst road rage incident you have had or witnessed? I guess I gave my contribution to the thread just now. My parents got pissed off that a guy cut them off, so they sped up to the car and threw a cup of Starbucks at his windshield. Be lucky your parents didn't get into an altercation. You know what I mean? Because let me be honest. Look, this is the reason why I stay ready. I'm just going to say that. The reason I stay ready is because I'm anticipating the person who is potentially going to be mad at me, they're ready too. You know, like the story I just told you guys, like when he stepped out the car, I was already anticipating, you know, him to have, you know, some freedom ready to go too. You know, so I was like, we about to pretty much, you know, exercise our Second Amendment up on this street right now. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just got to be ready for that shit. There ain't no way in hell would I be throwing a Starbucks cup on a motherfucker's car and I'm not ready. There's no way in hell I'm about to throw a cup of something on somebody's car and I'm not ready. And I'm not about to let somebody throw some shit on my car and them not be ready. And, you know, I not be ready. Like, bro, let's be honest here. Like, come on now. And that's why I drive defensively as I do. Because I don't like to, you know, get in altercations with people in the first place. But I know how people are. And so, yeah. I keep my freedom on me. You know what I mean? Because you never know. You really never know. All right, this will be our last one for today's thread. All right, let's get on into it. What is the worst road rage incident you have had or witnessed? I was in high school driving to my fast food job at Chick-fil-A. I was at a light turning left into a 4-lane highway. As I look to my left, I see two morons biking. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I see a van almost hit them and burn out and run the left turn arrow around 2 lanes of incoming traffic. The van jumped the median and hit 3 cars on the left turn lane across the street from me. The van continued. It hit a fire hydrant and then a telephone pole before he was stopped. Where in the fuck is this guy going? Bro, what the? So he's pretty much like in the lane and then on the oncoming, he's turning in. And bro literally almost hits the bikers that are going across. And he like turns into the lane, jumps the thing, hits some other cars and is doing some all kind of crazy shit. And then he gets onto the curb, hits a fire hydrant and then telephone pole, and it finally stops him. Like he literally just jumps the thing. Like, what are you doing, bro? The fuck are you doing, my guy? Man, this dude's got to be drunk. There's no way. Immediately after this happened, my left turn arrow changed to green. After seeing this van hit 3 cars and almost kill 2 Mormons, I thought I should go. I decided to go for it and pass the van while turning left. About a quarter mile down the road, I am still looking at my rear view. The van freed itself from the pole and was headed my way. I started to freak out. Yo, what? The van is heading towards you? Oh, hell no. I started to freak out. I was on a 4-lane highway with a concrete median to my left and a ditch to my right. I had already passed the only turnoff for about 2 more miles. I was going about 75 miles when the speed limit is 55. The van was going way faster and gaining on me. I passed an elderly couple who had no idea what was going on. 30 seconds later, I saw the van rear end them. Oh, no. He ran into Grandma? Oh, he ran into Grandma and Grandpa. No. Okay, let's see. I saw a hubcap fly, and a couple swerved into the ditch. No, grandma and grandpa. So they pretty much got smashed into the back. Their hubcap flew off and they went into the ditch. Damn. The van was probably 300 yards behind me and gaining. There was a turnoff for an apartment complex about a quarter mile away. I went like 95 and turned off in a few seconds ahead of the van. I thought for sure it was going to follow me, but it didn't. After calling 911, I waited for about 5 minutes before getting back on the road. I hit traffic a few lights before my job. It looked like there was a wreck. I saw the van along with 2 other cars in the ditch. The van had hit 6 cars total and had totaled at least 3. The shittiest part of the story is that I was late for work and my boss did not believe me. I ain't gonna lie to you. There ain't no way I'd probably believe you too. I'd be like, what does this murderous van want with you? You know, damn, that's crazy. The story didn't make the news and the police never asked me to testify. I never found out what the driver's deal was. Bro, that's insane. This dude must have been drunk. There's no way. This guy must have been drunk out of his mind. And for him to like hit that many cars and be running into shit and all that kind of stuff. The craziest fact to me is the fact that he turned the completely other way. Like, you're going this way, you're going left, he's going right from his perspective. Obviously, from the van's perspective, he's turning left. But he goes right, hits all those cars and does all that shit. And then I just leisurely make me a left-hand turn. And the van decides, oh, I'm going to turn around and chase that motherfucker. Like, what the hell, man? What did I do? You know what I mean? Like, what did I do? What did I do for you to be like, that guy right there, I want you? Like, bro, hey, you know.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Like, nah, man, what's going on here? Hey, it sucks that your boss didn't believe you, because that's a crazy ass story. I won't lie to you. I probably would be a little skeptical too. Won't lie, but because it is a crazy story. But at the same time, it's like, it could happen. It could happen, you know. That's why you have to get you gotta get a dash cam, bro. Gotta get a dash cam. That way you can come in the next day and be like, look at this. Look at this. You know what I mean? Look at this van. This van hit an old couple. Because that's the craziest part. He ran that old couple off the road like that. That was crazy. But that's going to go ahead and be that thread, man. Hope you guys enjoyed that thread. That was an homage thread to the very first thread we've ever done on the Am I the Asshole podcast. Episode 23, if you want to go check that one out. I'll probably link it down in the description for this episode, just so that way you guys can check it out and reminisce. Go back in time. You know what I mean? Go back in time to when the podcast was at simpler times. Yeah, and you can see how my background has changed, because my background has gotten crazy since, you know, like from then to now. You know what I mean? That was 2 years ago, mind you. So the amount of change that we've had in 2 years, craziness. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that thread. If you've ever had a road rage story that you've been a part of, or that you have witnessed, or, you know, you've been in the car and your friend was road raging, or your mom or your dad or whatever, definitely put it down in the comments. Love to hear them. All right. Love to hear them. All right. We're going to hop into announcements and then we'll get into today's scenarios. All right. Goodness gracious. Woo, it's been quite hot out here. Your boy's balls are sweaty and sticking to my leg. All right. Woo. So, let's get into our announcements. Patreon.com/Am I the Asshole podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday episodes. All right. Definitely get down there, man. $3 a month gives you an exclusive episode every single Friday, and over 100 hours of content, baby. Over 100 hours of content. It's insane, the amount of content that I put on Patreon. I never thought that I would have like that much content on Patreon. I never really thought that people would sign up for the Patreon. But honestly, it's just the fact that we've had a lot of people sign up. We've had a lot of people go and, be on the Patreon and stuff like that. Of course, numbers have fluctuated. It's been like here and there. Because I remember my highest amount of Patreons I had was probably 30. Obviously that number's gone down since then, but yeah, we've had quite a bit of Patreon people over there, man, enjoying the over 100 hours of content that we have over there. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, there's a fuck ton of content that, I have free, and I obviously try to give you guys more free content than there is paid content. But it's a thing where it's like, if you really support with, the podcast and you really rock with it, that's a way for you to, pretty much put your money where your mouth is, if I'm being honest with you. You know what I mean? And I look at it like what you pay for versus what you get. It's an amazing deal, So if you want to support, definitely get on down there. Support us. Link will be down in the description. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support, man. You guys have been absolutely killing it, especially on yesterday's episode. You guys absolutely destroyed that download button. Destroyed it. Woo! It was beautiful. All the support was amazing. I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying Lights Out. I know I have been. I've been enjoying Lights Out. It's been a good book. So I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it as well. And you guys continue to enjoy the book content that we've been doing. And on Sunday, if you missed our starting to Phantom, we streamed Phantom for like the first hour. The stream, go into the VODs playlist, find the episode titled Cheating in 1944 or something like that. We started the book Phantom. All right. We started the book. I did the very first hour of the book on that live stream. On Sunday, we are going to be continuing that book. We will do another hour of that book. So if you love Haunting Adeline, and you loved Satan's Affair, you loved Haunting Adeline, Hunting Adeline, and you were thinking to yourself, damn, I wanted to get more about Gigi, like great grandma Gigi's story. So that is what Phantom is about. Phantom is about Adeline's great grandmother Gigi and her affair with the dangerous man named Ronaldo. And that man he dangerous. Let's just say that. I ain't gonna spoil nothing. You guys on Sunday, get in them live streams, all right? And the first hour, we're gonna be going over it. If you're not able to make it, don't worry. I will have it on YouTube ready for you guys. It'll be VODed up, all that good stuff. So definitely get a part of that. Check out that previous live stream to get caught up. And yeah. So that's going to be that. Audio listeners, though, keep downloading, rating us 5 stars, all that good stuff on your preferred platform. I do appreciate that so very much. And all of that is free. If you want to help out even more on the free 99 side, go ahead and follow us on Instagram as well as TikTok and subscribe to us on YouTube. The goal is 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Hopefully we can hit that. I know that we can. Also, follow your boy on Twitch. All right. We are like on the cusp. We're right there to making affiliate. So if you want to come out and check out our live streams, please do on Twitch. Links will be down in the description. I stream every Friday, every Sunday, and every Monday. We have a blast on our streams. A blast. Pretty much it's just me kicking it with you guys, hanging out, having a good time. We shoot the shit and play some scary games, and it's fun. You guys can watch me get scared. I know you guys have seen those shorts. I have a great community over there. I have a great group of people that are just super awesome and super funny. And, just come on in and hang out. You know what I mean? Whether you're there for an hour, there for 2 hours, there for the whole stream. I stream for 8 hours just because we're just having so much fucking fun, and so... I will be streaming later today, so if you want to get a part of that, you definitely can, all right? So, without further ado, though, let's get into today's scenarios, all right? Our first one is, am I the asshole for calling my mother a backstabbing whore and cutting contact? Woo! Let's see why. All right. I'm not going to go into too much detail. It's a long story, but here's the short version. A year ago, my brothers, 17 male, 25 male, and I, 22 male, discovered that our mom had an affair 10 years prior. The whole thing that lasted about 2 years, this was something we discovered on our own. She didn't confess to it until she was caught. Whether or not she's cheated before or since, we have no idea. This revelation absolutely destroyed my dad, who's genuinely one of the greatest guys I've ever met. He was always an amazing father and husband. He spent his entire marriage to our mother bending over backwards to make her happy since the affair came to light and the divorce happened. He's turned into a depressed alcoholic. I've never seen someone's entire world shattered so thoroughly. He's not doing well, to put it mildly. My brothers and I no longer love or respect our mother. Wow. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I despise her. We tried to go no contact with her immediately, but she kept finding ways to reach out to us. It ended with a pretty nasty phone call recently, which I ended by saying, "You're nothing but a backstabbing whore. Your own sons don't even respect you. If you died tomorrow, none of us would even attend your funeral. Contact me again and I'll call the police." Then I hung up. Woo, bro. That's some venomous words right there. Now our mother is telling our extended family that we're ungrateful for everything she's done for us and that our father manipulated us to turn against her. Frankly, I don't care. I want nothing to do with this woman ever again. Are we the assholes? All right, look, bro. I'm going to be straight with you. Yes, you are. And the reason being is, look, I understand how you feel about that. And I understand how you're looking at this. Look, I come from a family of divorced parents too. All right. And why did they divorce? Oh, because my parents were messing with other people. Okay. And I get that this happens. And when you see it and when you experience it, you're just like, oh, what the fuck, this and that. And you're so quick to take sides. You're so quick to be upset and hurt. And, you got a lot going on with you. But you do need to understand that at the end of the day, your mom is your mom and your dad is your dad. And you only get one. And for you to spew such venomous words of I don't respect you and I don't love you anymore, and if you died tomorrow I wouldn't attend your funeral and all that kind of stuff, those are words that you are going to learn to regret when you get older. And it is going to happen. You may think that it won't happen now. It may not happen a month or a year from now, but there will be a time in your life that you're going to realize, like, damn, what my mom did was fucked up. But at the same time, it's like, that's my mom, and I only get one mom. Nobody is going to love you like your mom is going to love you. Nobody is going to be there for you like your mom is going to be there for you. Just because she did this to your dad doesn't mean that she loves you any less. Doesn't mean she cares about you any less. Doesn't mean you aren't her son any less. And for you to kind of sit there and disown your mom because of a mistake that she made towards your dad, I do think that's a little too far. I really do. Look, I didn't have perfect parents. I didn't. And, my parents don't really like each other like that. But I have a relationship with both my parents because I look at it like, I understand that you guys have made your mistakes and you've done things that, aren't the best in character. But, at the end of the day, you're my parents, and you guys, because you made these mistakes, it doesn't mean you love me any less. It doesn't mean I am less than in your eyes. It doesn't mean that, you don't see me as less of a son or anything like that. Like, you really have to kind of, and you'll come to that realization and that point, because it took me a while too. It really did. Like when my parents separated and, they kind of were in my ear talking bad about each other, it does make you, feel upset, and it makes you feel like, damn, you know what I mean? Oh, fuck mom. Why did she do that? Oh, fuck dad. Why did she do, And so it does make you feel some type of way. It really does. But it comes a point where you realize they're human. They make mistakes just like we do. And it's up to you to kind of get to a point where you say, look, you made this mistake. You did this horrible thing, but I do forgive you because you are my mom, and you're the only mom that I got in the whole world, and I do love and care about you, because I guarantee you your mom, she doesn't hate you. She is not mad at you. She doesn't love you any less because she cheated on your dad and all that kind of stuff. It's just a thing where she made a mistake. She's human. She does these things just like you. You're human. You make mistakes. Yeah, I'm sure there's times where you've slipped up and done something that wasn't necessarily, the right thing to do. We have all done it. It's just the way it is. But again, you got to realize like that's your mom. That's your mom, bro. And again, nobody is going to love you like she will. Nobody's going to be there for you like she will. And I had to learn that with my dad. My dad, he was there, but he wasn't the best guy, and I realized I didn't have a relationship with him until I moved out. You know what I mean? Until I moved out and stopped living with him is when I had a relationship with him, because it kind of put us in a position where I could start to be like, okay, I'm not around you all the time. and on top of that, I'm not really under your umbrella anymore. And so now we can kind of have this relationship as equals. And, we come together like that. And, for me, it was tough to forgive a lot of the things that he did, whether it was to my mom, it was to my brother, or it was to me. It took time to forgive him, but I got to a point where I realized, you know what? I only get one dad in this world, you know what I mean? And no matter what he's done and no matter all that stuff, for one, he's human. He makes mistakes. He's not going to be perfect. And two, nobody's going to love me the way that my dad loves me. Nobody's going to care about me the way my dad cares about me. So I think I can forgive him for, the things that he's done, and at least have a relationship with him in that way. And I think you're going to get to that point with your mom where you realize, you know what, she's made a mistake, and I should, forgive her for, the mistakes that she's made, because she's human. We all make these mistakes. It happens, but it doesn't mean that she loves me less. It doesn't mean that she cares about me less. It doesn't mean that she sees you as less of a son, And again, it's, I'm sure this is a thing where it just happened or you just found out about it and, the emotions are high and you're feeling some type of way about it. So again, it's one of those things where it's like, look, take a step back, breathe a little bit, understand that she's human, and realize that just because this happened doesn't mean she loves you any less. And that it doesn't mean you should love her any less, or you should even, look at her in this dark way or anything like that. Because again, bro, that's your mom. We all make mistakes. It happens. Man, I understand how your dad would feel. Obviously he would feel betrayed and hurt and, really upset and stuff like that. And it's understandable. 100% understandable. And yes, be there for your dad. Support him in his healing journey and be like, hey, I know this sucks and this and that, and she doesn't deserve you. But at the same time, it's like, like you can't harbor the hate or the negative feelings that your dad has. You can't put those onto you. You just can't do that, And if you do, you're gonna live to regret it. I'm telling you, you're gonna live to regret it. It's gonna be one of those moments where you're going to think back onto yourself and you're going to be like, damn, I really said that to my mom. Like, that's not cool. You know what I mean? You're going to get to a point where you're really kind of eating those words. Because I've been there. I've said those words too. Oh, I hate you, Mom. Oh, I hate you, Dad. I've said that. Oh, I've been in that position where, I've had such a deep hatred for my parents. But then you kind of, like I said, you just get to a point where you realize, they're human too. And us as kids, we look at our parents as like superheroes. They can't do any wrong and they never make mistakes, and they're not human. We put them on this invisible pedestal that they don't even realize that they're on. And we think like they can't do any wrong and they can't make mistakes. And, once you start to get to an age where, you realize like, shit, my parents are human too. My parents are people too. They make mistakes. They do things that they're not supposed to do. You know what I mean? Once you kind of realize these things, you're just like, okay, I can't be mad at them for the choices that they've made. I can't be mad at them for the things that they've done, because they're human. A lot of times you look at it like, dang, I've made those kind of mistakes too, or, I would make these kind of mistakes too. And I'm not saying that you would cheat or anything like that, but I'm just saying there are things that your parents have done that you've probably done too, and they may not have been the best. And so that's why I say, you gotta have some forgiveness for your parents, because they're human, and you'll get to that point. I'm not saying you'll get to that point now. I'm not saying you'll get to that point, in a month or a year, but there'll come a time when you realize, like, okay, my parents are human too. They make mistakes. It is what it is. They don't love me any less. They don't care about me any less. They don't see me as less, and I just feel that way. I just feel that way, and it's not real. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about it down in the comments. Are they the asshole? Are they not? Is it justified for them cutting off their mom for that reason? I don't know. I personally think they are the asshole, and they need to realize that their mom is human. She makes mistakes. And you only get one mom in this world, my mom's not perfect, but I wouldn't trade her for any other woman in the world. Just the way it goes. All right, on to our next one. Am I overreacting? My fiance hates violence. Okay. Yesterday, I guess me, 22 male, fiance, 22 female, was being catcalled, sexually, verbally harassed, and I wasn't with her. She only told me about the situation once she got home and was quoted shaking up. I gave her a big hug and was sorry I couldn't be there, but then I started to react and get angry because she refused to tell me when it happens straight away because she doesn't like violence and conflict. I'm not a big guy, but I'll do whatever it takes to protect my fiance and other women, in fact, so they don't get harassed or feel scared in the streets in the daytime. I was angry at the guy who harassed her, angry at myself that I wasn't there to help, and angry at my fiance that she doesn't want my help. I ended up getting so angry I walked out and slammed the door behind me to calm myself down. She doesn't like the way I reacted and almost wanted a break from me. Yeah, because you're acting a little overboard, bro. You're being a little emotional, if I'm being honest with you. We have been together for 4 years, and this isn't normal for her to want to break. Aren't all men this protective and want to do right, or am I overreacting and let this go? You're overreacting. You are. You're overreacting like crazy. You are being overly emotional, and you're acting extremely erratic. All right? You need to understand that you're a man, and as a man, with anger, comes violence, and very destructive violence at that. All right. And that's why when I understand, being upset that your girl got catcalled, 100%, but it's a thing where you weren't there. You know what I mean? You weren't there. And the fact that you weren't there, you know, it's one of those things where if your girl comes to you and she was like, oh, babe, I was catcalled and I felt so uncomfortable, like I wish you were there and this and that, you know, this is where you hold your emotions together. You don't hold them in, but you hold them together and you comfort her and say, oh, babe, I'm so sorry that happened. You know what I mean? You hold her, you know, close to your chest. Yeah, I mean, the broad titty right here. You know what I mean? If you don't got some pecs, you need to get in the gym, fucker. And get some so that way she's got a nice little pillow to lay her head on. You know what I mean? And so, you know, you hold her and you tell her, oh, babe, you know, I'm so sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that you're safe. I'm glad that you're back and you're safe. For her, that's gonna make her feel. That's going to make her feel safe. You know what I mean? She's going to feel like, damn, my man's got me. But you bursting out in this anger makes her scared because she's like, oh, whoa, what is he going to do? Is he going to hit me? You know what I mean? Is he going to like take his anger out on me because he's mad at this random guy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, women get scared over that shit. Instead of you collecting your feelings, holding yourself together, and comforting her in that dark and scary moment for her, you know, that is actually being a protective man. You being angry and doing all that stuff, that's not being a protective man, bro. That is you lashing out in anger, and that's only making her feel unsafe, and that's why she said, I think we should take a break. Because she looks at it like you are emotionally erratic, and if this continues, I could get hurt, and I don't want that. She's looking out for herself in this situation, rightfully so, because you are acting way out of line. Again, when your woman is being catcalled or in an uncomfortable position and all that kind of stuff, if you are not with her, the best thing you can do is comfort her and be like, babe, I'm so sorry that you went through that. I'm so glad that you're safe. Hold her close to you. Make her feel safe. Women love that shit. That's what they want. That's what they want you to do. Now, if you're with her, because I'm going to have to give this advice because I feel like you're the type of motherfucker that a dude's going to catcall your girl and then you're going to be like, hey, man, hey, all right, what the fuck are you doing? I'm going to beat your ass. Blah, 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 blah. And that, again, she's going to be like, oh, God, what are you doing? The best thing to do for a guy, if your girl's getting catcalled, non-verbal contact with your girl. If your girl's getting catcalled on, rub on that booty, man. You know what I mean? Pull your girl closer. And it's not one of those things where you have to be aggressive about it. Nah, put your arm around her, wrap your arms around her waist. Good example of, there was a time that I was with an ex at this time, and you know, we were at her friend's like get together or something. It was some bullshit. And I was kind of pissed because her ex was there, but I was like, oh, I understand. She's not friends with him, but I get that he's friends with the people that she's friends with. So it's like, she's not friends with the ex, obviously for good reasons, but she's still friends with, the other people. So it was kind of like a friend group thing. Homeboy was coming and he was trying to talk to her, right? I, from across the room, could like sense her like uncomfortableness. I didn't have to like get all aggressive with homeboy to get him to go away. No. I literally walked up behind my girl, wrapped my arms around her waist, gave her a nice little smoochie on the cheek, and then I looked at him and I was like, "Sup, bro? What's going on?" While I'm holding her. For one, that makes her feel safe. Two, that lets the dude know, hey, bro, back the fuck up. This is my girl. And then it also just kind of establishes like, you're not really wanted in this conversation. Yeah, I mean, you're not really wanted in this conversation. You back up. And a lot of guys, they'll go away, but there are some guys that won't. And that's why it's your job to then take her out of that situation and be like, hey man, me and her, we about to go over here. It was good seeing you. You know what I mean? Throw your fist out for a dap or some shit. And you just take your girl and you walk away. That's how you deal with these scenarios and situations. You don't do it with aggression and violence. That's not a man protecting his woman. That's you acting crazy, and she's going to look at it like, oh my God, why is... you're embarrassing her at that point. You're embarrassing her at that point, bro. That is not the way to go about it. So again, you are overreacting because what you did is you didn't protect her in that moment. You made her feel scared in that moment. And then when you are with your girl, non-verbal contact is the way to go. If you see a dude talking to your girl and you don't like that shit, you go up behind your girl, you wrap your arms around her, you give her a nice good smooching on her cheek or neck or whatever your vibe is, and then you look at homeboy and you say, what's up? And that's all you gotta do. What's up? And if you want to get her away from that situation, then you be like, hey man, me and her about to go over there, bro. All right. And you take her. And if he's like, oh yeah, I'll go with you. Nah, bro. No. It's just me and her, bro. It's just me and her. Me and her are just going to go over here. And you stand 10 toes down. You keep her in your arms the whole time. Again, it's about making her feel safe, not this whole aggressive and all that. Nah, bro. Nah, you can do that without the violence side of it. Now if you gotta bust out some violence because the homeboy, the dude is being violent, all right then, at that point she's like, knock his ass out. You know what I mean? Because he's aggressive first, and it's like at that point I have no choice to be violent. But if you're just gonna start the scenario out with violence, your girl is not going to feel safe around you, bro. She's just not. She's going to look at you like, oh, come on, man. Really? Fuck. So, again, yeah, it's not the way to go about it, bro. Not the way to go about it. All right, this is going to be our last one for today's episode. If you've gotten this far in the episode, thank you. Love you. Appreciate you. Let's get on into it. Am I the asshole for talking to my friends less because I'm depressed? Oh, wow. Okay. Me 18, for privacy's sake, S 18 have been friends for about 3 years. We're both going into our senior year and have both said the other is our best friend. Me and this friend have both only had one relationship in the past. So early this summer, us being horny teenagers decided to start having friends with benefits type thing. We were clear about boundaries and that it wasn't a permanent situation and made sure that we would stay friends after this. Ooh. So I take it, I don't know if this is two girls or if this is a guy and a girl. It might be. I don't know. I don't know. Let's just say it's two people. They're friends. They decide to become fuck buddies. All right. Let's just say that. We were clear about boundaries and that it wasn't a permanent situation and made sure that we would stay friends after this. Things were going fine. We met up a couple of times and started and talked all the time. About a month ago was the 3-year anniversary of my mom's death, and it hit me harder than it has before. I got extremely depressed and kind of stopped regularly talking to most of my friends. I still responded whenever someone messaged me first, but I rarely reached out to people on my own. About a week ago, I reached out to S just to check in and see how they were doing because we hadn't really talked, but much in the past month. We talked for a bit, but they then asked me if I wanted to end the FWB thing we had. I said, sure, if that's what they'd like. They said they wanted to end it because nothing was happening, which was fair because nothing was happening. I said I was sorry and told them why. We had already talked about how depressed I was, and they seemed to understand. But ever since then, they've been angry at me. One night I was feeling really depressed and felt really bad about not talking to my friends as much. So I ended up sending a lot of my friends messages saying sorry for not talking or hanging out, and explained why. Because I have an amazing friends. The next day, I had a lot of people reaching out asking if I needed help or just to say it was fine, and they understood. Then I saw that S had only responded with MK. This kind of hurt a little. I didn't expect a lot, but I kind of hoped for more than 2 letters. But I moved past it. Later, I was talking to a mutual friend that me and S shared, and the topic of those messages came up, and the mutual friend told me that they had talked to S about it and that they were also shocked at S's response, but that when they asked S about it, S had said that they were just done, and my friend then said that they think S is mad at me for not talking to them or my other friends very much. I understand that I can see why S might be a little frustrated or upset, but in the last month-ish, S also hasn't tried to talk to me at all. I think almost every time we talked, it was because I reached out, and every time S or any other of my friends have reached out, I responded. I've talked to a couple of other friends about it, and most of them agree with me, but I don't want to be wrong and approach the situation believing I'm right when I'm not. I am very frustrated and want to know if I'm in the wrong. Am I the asshole for talking to my friends less because I'm depressed? In this situation, if I'm being honest with you, bro, I don't think you're the asshole at all, just because I do understand that is a serious thing. You losing your mom, that's a huge thing. And that can put you in a huge spiraling, feat of depression, and it does suck. As someone who has been diagnosed with depression in the past, and has dealt with it and been medicated over it and all that kind of stuff, I can tell you that it is not an easy thing to just get out of. Like, I could sit here and tell you, if you ever feel depressed, it's always good to contact your friends. It's always good to, have these kind of positive people around you and all that kind of stuff. And ideally, that's amazing advice. It is. It's amazing advice, but, and that's a big round but, it's not that easy. It's not, because a lot of times you really don't want to talk to anybody. When you're depressed, you don't want to talk to anybody. You kind of want to just crawl into a hole, and you want to just let the world pass you by while you wither away in this tiny little hole. And it's not that you don't feel worthy to talk to people. It's not that you feel like they won't understand or be supportive. No, you know that they're going to be supportive. You know that they're going to do something. But it's a thing where you just have this weight on you that is so heavy that it's so much easier for you to kind of just lay in the burden. And it really does take a special kind of friend to like pull you out of that, and really get you into a spot where you're like, hey, I got you. Because it's only then that you can really get out of that kind of depression. And it's the reason why my 2 best friends have been my best friends for 15 plus years, is because they've each been involved in a part of my life where I have been so depressed and so down, where they pulled me out and they did not let me go back in. My oldest friend, shout out to him, man. His name is Michael. Love that guy. Absolutely love that guy. I don't talk to him as much as I should, but I remember when I was in 7th grade, and that was like at the height of my depression. It was at the height of it. And, I hated taking the medication for it. Hated it. Oh, it sucked. Taking the medication made me depressed because I felt weird. You know what I mean? I felt like a weird kid. I was like, other kids don't do this. Other kids don't take pills because they're sad. I just felt like a loser. And, he literally was just like, hey, I don't think you're a loser. I think you're a cool dude. I think you're a great guy. I love fucking hanging out with you. There's nobody I'd rather hang out with than you. And to me, I was just like, oh shit, for real? And it wasn't a thing where I sought after that kind of reaction from him, or it was one of those things where, he just saw how I was acting and how I was, and he just noticed like, that's not the guy that I know. You know what I mean? And he and I just became extremely close. And then I remember we had one class together, and that was like my favorite fucking class. It's my favorite class because I know I got to go see my best friend, and I was just like, bro, and me and my best friend are just going to fuck this class up and have so much fun. And we did. And it pulled me out of that depression. My other best friend, shout out to him. You guys have seen him on the podcast multiple times, even on a stream recently. Shout out to him. That's my boy Alex. He's gotten me out of a lot of depressions. A lot of depressive holes, to the point where, and a lot of it was like over girls and relationships and shit like that. If we ever have him back, I'll let him tell the story. But it is a thing where it's like, dude, that depression hits you really, really hard. And it does give you that, like, I don't want to talk to anybody. And like I said, I could sit here and just be like, oh no, if you're depressed, just talk to your friends and talk to those positive outlets that you have in your life, and you'll get out of it. And it's just like, it's not that easy. So that's why I don't think you're the asshole at all. As far as your friend, it's one of those things where you're going to have to just give them space and give them time, because they'll come around. They will. They'll come around. Give them some space, give them some time, and let them know that you're giving them this space and that you're giving them this time. And you let them know, hey, I am sensing like some weirdness between you and I. If you need some space, I will give you that space. And you can come talk to me whenever it is that you're ready, and we can talk about it and we can become friends again. And just be open with me. You know what I mean? Give them that kind of communication and let them know that, hey, I'm ready when you are. I'm here waiting when you're ready. And I think that will allow them to kind of feel like, okay, let me at least reach out to them, let them know why I'm feeling upset or why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. So that way we can kind of, because you opening that line of communication will kind of allow them to feel more comfortable in opening up about their feelings and whatever it is that they're feeling and have going on. It's the way to have good friendships. You sometimes got to extend that olive branch to them and just let them know, hey, I'm here for you. I got you. Whatever you need, you let me know. And when you're ready, I'll be here. I'll be here waiting for you. So, and they'll tell you. You might not even know. It could be some crazy shit. They might have fell in love with you because of the whole, little friends with benefits thing. You never know what it is. You never know. So you extending that olive branch like that, it'll allow them to kind of feel more comfortable to open up and be like, hey, this is the reason why I'm upset, and so on and so forth. So, all right, but that's going to go ahead and be today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's Patreon Day episode, free Patreon Day episode for August. This was an absolute banger episode. We went for a little longer. I wanted it to be a little bit of a longer episode, a little juicier, you know what I mean? Just for you guys. This was a special episode again because, this was pretty much like the thread that we did was our very first thread that we've ever done, I believe on our first episode of the 2 years, or the I like to call it the third season. It's gonna be the third season of Am I the Asshole? Podcast TV show. You know what I mean? And so the third season, what I'm going to do is I'm going to react to my very first episode that I've ever released. All right. My very first episode. We're going to react to it together. We're going to check it out and just see how much I've changed, how much the show has changed, how much everything in general has just changed for this, and how much of an influence you guys have had on the show as well. And so I think it's going to be a pretty cool thing. Look out for that this month. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. I might even do it on stream, if I'm being honest with you. Actually, that might be the way to go. I might do it on stream, if I'm being real with you. I might do it on stream. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right. But I love you guys. I will see you on... Actually, I'll see you tonight if you come down to the stream. So we will be live tonight. If not, don't worry. I got you. We're going to be streaming on Sunday, and we'll stream on Monday, and then we got Tuesday's episode, Thursday's episode, and so on and so forth. All right, love you guys all. Appreciate you for all the support. You guys are the goats. Again, patreon.com/MileyAsshole exclusive episode every single Friday. $3 a month, exclusive episode, or $3 a month. Over 100 hours of content, all that good stuff. Follow us on TikTok. Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, all that good stuff, man. I love you guys. Peace.